Alright, so today is April 4th, 2015, and we are getting started. First question here from Deborah. When a domain is expired, can you still do the penalty check for domain.com and domain.com and domain, or does it get entirely de-indexed thanks in advance? You can't still do that when the site's not up, Deborah, unfortunately. I haven't found anything that does, like, a penalty check like that for when the site's not up. So no, you can't do that. Unfortunately, I've been playing around with stuff, but I haven't found anything substantial. Like some sites, I'll do checks before, and I like took a log. And I mean, some sites wouldn't even show up with sitename.com on the first page. Like the actual domain. And then when I actually put it up, it's like super strong. And then it's just the opposite for some where, they might show on the first page for site.com when they're expired, and then you put up the site up and it's not nearly as strong as the ones that weren't even showing up for that. So, unfortunately, it's not reliable when the site's not up yet. I haven't found anything yet. Alright, from Jason. My question is that I am stuck on the second page for the keyword outdoor wood furnace. I've sent PBNs to the site and built a few DAS clusters and did social explosion and linked some PBNs to that. But I seem like I can't get past spot 13. Is it just something that is super competitive and I'm going to have to hammer a lot more PBNs to it, or do more trust pooling up type of stuff? If you have a little time, can you look at the number one position, tell me why they're ranking there? For that term, I looked at anchor text and barely see the anchor target at all. Yeah, I mean, for you, I would work on taking up the trust if you've done a good amount of links. Let me actually look in, I'm just waiting for the data to load for that. Well, first of all, they have high domain authority. They got a 51 domain authority, so that's obviously helping them out. Let me throw them in Ahrefs. This isn't something I would be able to obviously fully do on a webinar, but let's see. This would take some time to look into. So they got 33 referring domains. Now, why isn't it letting me log in? Whoops. Alright, so they have it in there, like Google really likes when you have long URLs like this. I'm surprised they don't have the exact in there. But what I'm guessing is, okay, here they got it right here again. What I'm guessing is they're having it from more trusted sources, more relevant sources. So again, I can't take too much time looking at this on a webinar, but for you, what I would work on is like you said, getting more trust to the current links you have. And also remember, we're looking at the actual page. They have high domain authority, so they're going to be ranking a lot easier. So we were just looking at that page, and we actually look at the actual domain. What they have to the domain as well is also going to help them rank for that inner page. Like, for example, if you have a site and you have like this site here, if they have stuff about boilers going to or furnace, wood furnace or anything going to the home page, that's going to help any inner page rank because it's theming the site for wood furnace, right? So again, I'm guessing they have some of those types of links going to the home page. Then also that high domain authority just really helping them out. This is loading slow, but yeah, for you, I would work on building the trust of the current links you have. All right, and just give it time. I mean, movement is really slow these days, Jason, for links. Sometimes I'll notice links take a couple months to fully kick in. It just really depends, and I don't know how long ago you've done all your links and all that stuff. So I would just give it time, and if it's been a while that you've already given it time, just work on building that trust up. No problem, Jody. How do you apply the principles of law of attraction in your day to life, and how do you identify where you need a breakthrough and approach getting a breakthrough? Well, Jody, I mean, these webinars are more about SEO, but um, I mean, I kind of just stick to the basics, Jody. I always make sure that I have something written down for what I need to do for the day. That's actually my biggest thing. Is just writing down what I need to do and then crossing each thing off. If I log on, I don't have anything in front of me where I'm looking at something like everything that I need to do. I'll get off course. Like I'll go on Facebook. I'll start just talking to people on Skype or stuff like that. So a lot of times I'll get on my computer. I'll have my list. I'll log out of email. I'll click out of Facebook. Um, and I'll just kind of get to work on the things that I need to do. So my advice would be just get a plan each day, write it down, and then go through your list of things that you need to do. I mean, that's the biggest thing that I do. And then, of course, just stay relentless. Keep your mind on the end goal, where you want to be, and don't lose sight of that. All right. Is it okay to send the anchor text to sitename.com internal page with an anchor text like sitename.com keyword? Yeah, it's fine, you send. By building a lot of pages on your website, will it help increase the DA? By having a silo on your site, does it boost your DA because it's a big site? Um, I mean, I guess it can. I never really track that, Yasin. But building links to the inner pages, especially the siloed site, is what really builds the DA. But I've never really tracked, like, if adding the content builds DA or not. I'm sure it can, but ultimately links are what's going to really bump it up. How do you stop negative SEO? Yeah, I mean, high DA can help. Then, of course, you can monitor your links, regularly, and then just disavow anything that you're not doing. Just throw them in the disavow file. That's about it. I just want to see if that site came up. Of course, now they're updating, so it didn't come up. I wanted to see the home page of that site that's ranking number 1. Because again, remember, like I explained, I think it was Jason that asked this. Not only do they have high DA, but what they have going to the home page is going to really help for that inner page. And they have tons of links going to the home page. It finally came up. 735 referring domains. So a lot of people don't realize what's going to the home page can really help you rank for your inner pages, like especially if it's relevant. For example, I've never even really talked about this, but when I get like an expired domain, I use it for a money site. A lot of times, I'll start sending links to the home page on that topic. So, for example, if it's a site about maybe it was about politics before or something like that, and I turn it into an e-cig site. One thing that I'll do to help make it more powerful is start sending links like electronic cigarette, e-cigarettes, smoking, electronic cigarettes, stuff like that to the home page. And then like an inner page, I might rank for like electronic cigarette brands. And then when you kind of send links to the home page with those anchor texts, it helps the site be more trusted for those terms. So, I'm guessing they have a lot of links to the home page about, obviously that's what the site's totally about. You know what I mean? So, let's go look at their anchors really quick. And then, I mean, you take a look at a site like Amazon, like, yeah, they have really high DA, And of course, they have some links going to the homepage about computers, but when you have a site like this is all about boilers. You know what I mean? Like, look at all this text. It's branded, and that stuff like central boiler, wood furnaces, outdoor furnaces, heating systems, like everything in their anchor text to the homepage is about. Here you go, right here, outdoor like wood furnaces, heating. Like this is all in the same niche. So when a site has that much domain authority and it's all centered around one niche like this, it's going to make those inner pages a lot stronger for something like a targeted term on that, right? So you probably only looked at the links to this actual page, which I think in Ahrefs are like 35. But when it's an inner page ranking like that, you really got to consider what's going to the home page as well. Because again, we got high DA with tons of relevant links here. Outdoor furnace. I just want people to understand what's going to the home page can really affect an inner page. All right. And you said like they didn't have much anchor text on that. Look at all this. All this stuff going to the home page. Look at all that. All this stuff. Outdoor wood furnace, outdoor wood furnace, outdoor wood furnace. And that's a mistake a lot of people make when they are analyzing. Is they'll just like if it's an inner page ranking, they'll just look at the inner page, the links. But you always got to take the home page into consideration. Because when we looked at that inner page, of course, we only saw a couple links with this in it. But then when you bring up the home page and you see all types of stuff, and that's why they're ranking so well for it. Of course, mixed with the high DA. All right, from Tim, I won my first few domains for PBN at auction. Can you go into hosting a little more using multiple hosts for each PBN? I'm confused from the videos on hosting from last fall and the spring. Does registration also leave a footprint? Would registering all at GoDaddy, for instance, be a problem? Tim, have you seen the March, April, May Mastery Webinar 3? Because we talk all about that in that video. Yeah, so I don't think you have. Make sure you check out March, April, May Mastery Webinar 3. Alright, from Yasin. Confused on how to silo out a site. I was planning to silo out everything I do from SEO to reputation management. I want to do state and city. So would the silo structure be site name, services, SEO, state, city? And for web design, it would be site name, services, web design, state, city. If it was me, you said I probably wouldn't even have services in there. I'd probably just have /webdesign/state/city. Same thing for SEO, just /SEO/state/city. In order for my whole silo structure to get link juice, does it need to be linked in each other in the silo? Or does putting each page with a parent good enough? I think having an outbound link going to another part of my silo would look messy. Like if I had a page on my silo in Alabama, I think linking out to another page on my silo to New York wouldn't look organized. Also, do I need the vSilo plugin? I would probably take this all to Network Empire, Yasin. Again, I don't do tons with silos. I mean, of course, I have sites set up. Like, what I do is if a site has enough topics in it to easily create a silo site, then I'll create silos. But if it's something just like NashvilleSEO.com that's just about one topic, I'm not going to silo that out. That's just me. Network Empire is going to tell you different, but for me, it just depends on the size of the site, and then I take it from there. But any specific questions like that on siloing, they're the ones that are really into that and the experts on that, so I would take that to them. They'll probably give you a better answer than I will. All right, from Tim. How do you recommend I go about starting to get content for new PBN domains? My goal is to rank my real estate site for local home sales. The goal is rank my business site and a mortgage site first as proof of concept, then branch out from there, offering local pay-per-lead services to related fields. I mean, I just get my content from article writers, Tim. I just let them write the articles, and I just throw it up. We teach to do like things pretty safe, and we say you got to keep it all relevant and all that. But I mean, realistically, what's still working is anything. I mean, you can take a PBN that was about politics. You can throw up the old site. Just download the old site in the OMG Command Center, upload it, and just throw a link on the page. Even if it's totally irrelevant and there's no relevant content, that's still going to work. And we've proved it. This I showed this on a few webinars. If you do Delaware Personal Chef, um, this site right here was number 40. All I did for this site was I got this site for $8. Okay, it was a PBN, very very cheap. It was an expired domain, as cheap as you can get them. And all I did was I threw up the old site. I downloaded from the Wayback Machine. You can see it's not even pretty. Took me a few minutes to do, and then I just threw a link down here for Delaware Personal Chef. The site's absolutely nothing to do with chefs. It's about, I guess, real estate. But the point was to show that this works still. You know what I mean? It's still about the link juice. Doesn't even matter if there's anything relevant. But of course, we teach to keep things relevant because we want to just stay safe for the long run. I think this is going to work for a long time, but at the same time, we would rather people stay safe for the long run, think more long term. Um, so I mean, you can do that however you want, but I mean, how I usually do things, Tim, is I just put up the site and I'll order articles relevant to whatever I'm doing content on. So if I'm doing real estate, I'll get a real estate article. I'll make it relevant to what it's about. So if I'm doing like Tennessee real estate, I'll get a generic real estate article. I'll throw in Tennessee a few times, and I'll link out Tennessee real estate agent or whatever. So I mean, that's how I do it, just like we show in the training. What should be the minimum number of links an expired domain should have? Um, again, we talked about this in the March, April, May Mastery webinars. Make sure you guys watch them. But I mean, there's not really any minimum. I mean, a site can have 5 links going to it, and they can all be strong, and it can do a lot for you. So I mean, there's not really a minimum. I would probably stay over 5 for me. But I mean, a site can really have one really good link to it, and that can create a good amount of power. So. Alright, so let's see here. From Yasin, what is the right amount of anchor text to a site that has the keyword and the inner URL and not get over optimized? I mean, again, that depends on a lot of things. Domain authority, how you're doing it. I mean, if we go back to this example, you see they have a ton of stuff with outdoor wood furnace in it, which is what they're ranking well for. Or outdoor furnaces, outdoor wood furnaces. But at the same time, he's changing it up. Like, he has different stuff after this, so that counts as different anchor text. Even though he's repeating outdoor wood furnace a bunch of time and outdoor furnace a bunch, he's still changing up the words after that, so that counts as different anchor text. So it really depends how you're doing it. I personally am careful with doing this too much, just because I mean it works now, but the way this Google has gone, this is something that I think that they could cut down on pretty easily, or be more strict on. Like, for example, if you have 50 anchor text and all of them have this keyword in it, well, then you're over optimized. Right now, it's not really like that. Like, if you have 50 and they're all different like this, even if they have all have the main keyword in them, you can actually get away with that. But I could see them very easily doing away with that in the future, which is why I try not to overdo it. You know what I mean? They haven't overdone it even for the future because they have a whole bunch of other stuff in here as well. Here they got like wood boilers, so that again, Jason, that's helping them rank very well for that. This is what's really helping them. All these stuff they have like this, that longer anchor text with that keyword in it. But yeah, they did a really good job with their anchor text. They start going to this again. Hitting 81 in Boston, nice. Dallas is nice. Why is it that some websites rank with no content on the first page? I mean, because there are strong sites, probably, and it's not just the content. I've talked about this before. It's mainly the anchor text that Google goes off. That's number one. And number two would be the domain name, and then the inner URL. Any inner URL stuff, and then of course like title and the other on-page stuff. So, I mean, if they have relevant links and and those links are, of course, about the keywords they're trying to rank for. You can rank with basically no content. I wouldn't recommend it. It makes things harder, but how long can the meta description be? Do you really have to stick to 160 characters? Will you be penalized for extra keywords in description? I actually don't really fill out my meta descriptions, Renita, but when I do, I try to stay below 160, just to be safe. But I'm pretty sure if you go over, I'm almost positive you won't get penalized. It just won't show the whole meta description, that's all. But I usually just leave my meta blank and let Google pull them. Do you use this tool to store all login details? As I'm building more Web 2.0s, there are more and more login credentials I need. Is there a solution that is safe and does not leave a footprint? I just use spreadsheets, like the or Excel spreadsheets, stuff like that. Maybe a notepad file, depends. What does LSI mean? How is it important to consider for ranking a website? LSI means latent semantic indexing. I can't even say that correctly. It's basically like, Peter, if you have like Dallas plumber, LSI for that would be like plumber in Dallas. It's just kind of like synonyms or different ways of saying things. Or if you get like you could even take it to like electronic cigarettes. And then, of course, like vaping, stuff like that. You could consider that LSI. Just different ways of saying things. I guess I think that's the best way to describe it. A different way to say something. You know what I mean? Because if you have an article on electronic cigarettes, you're not going to say, electronic cigarettes are blah blah blah, electronic cigarettes blah blah blah. When you do your electronic cigarettes, you're going to say it different ways because it just doesn't sound right when you keep saying electronic cigarettes. So you're going to say e-cigarettes, vaping, smoking vapor. You're going to say it in different ways to make your article sound better. All right, and also, of course, when you do that, it's going to be easier to rank for those other keywords. So LSI is just kind of a different way of saying a keyword. Alright, you got it, Jason. So yeah, Jason, I'm not sure if you're trying to rank an inner page or the home page, but like I explained, when I get an expired domain, I'm using it for a money site, I actually do some of this, where I'll start sending relevant anchor text to the home page, even if it's an inner page. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm trying to rank an inner page for electronic cigarette brands, I'll even send electronic cigarette brands type text to the home page, because that kind of it just makes the site more about electronic cigarette brands. Even though you're trying to rank an inner page for that, sending it to the home page is going to help rank that inner page for it as well. So I don't know if you're trying to rank an inner page or not, but you can also start doing that if it's an inner page. Alright, from Peter, how important is the topic of the PBN article? Can I use a generic health article about natural treatments and link to a money site about specific Ds? Yeah, Peter, you can do that again. It just depends how safe you want to be. Like I showed in this example, I threw up a site about, I think it's real estate, I guess. And I just threw in a link to Delaware Personal Chef with absolutely nothing about chefs on the site, and it moved it up 3 pages. So yeah, that's definitely safe too, because that's even like pretty much the same topic. But I mean, you can do totally not related, and it still works right now. I'm just kind of giving you guys the facts. Of course, it's a little more dangerous. It's something that they could figure out later on, so it could get you in trouble later on if they tighten up the algorithm. They figure out something to fight that. But right now, it's going to work perfectly fine, even if it's totally irrelevant. I have a solid blog attached to a website. Will sending links from the blog to the main website help build DA? Or will I get penalized for sending too many links from the blog to the inner page of the main website? Yeah, I mean, that will help build up the site, Renita. I mean, I'd do it. I kind of just, for some sites, I'll mess with just creating content to link to other pages of my stuff. So, I mean, I've never specifically tracked if it does like I've never created a site linked from an inner page to the home page and like track does my DA go up or not, because I don't really care, because I know it's helping other things. Like it's going to help you rank whatever you're linking to, even though it's on the same site. So never specifically tracked like does it actually build the DA number, because I know it's doing something positive for me. So I don't really care if it builds DA or not. All right, from David, what's your preferred company for building a website? I actually don't go through any companies, David. I just usually partner with people, and I let them take care of all of that. Like I usually just do SEO. I let people take care of conversion and building the site and all that. But I mean, like people like Clinton Dixon are very good, and there's other references that you can go to in the Facebook, or from Andres. You're welcome, Andres. When I'm building PBN, should I use Social Explosion and Video Kraken? In this tutorial, should I put an article with links back to my money site on the static page where the videos will be shown, and then later add more posts that are just articles with links back to the money site and their pages? I mean, on some of my PBNs, I use Video Kraken. I usually always use Social Explosion. I just kind of mix it up. As far should I put an article with links back to my money site? Yeah, always put the links on an article that's going to be on the home page, and it's going to stay there. That's where you're going to get the most juice. All right. Seems like everyone else is getting sound. Alishma, hopefully you are hearing me now. All right, Tim, re-ask your question then if you've seen them, and I'll answer that for you. Try to be as specific as you can. Alright, from Theory, I'm looking for help in identifying the feasibility of ranking a keyword for a potential client. The overall keyword is extremely non-competitive except for one directory site that is taking the top 4 spots. The directory is only DA34 according to Moz, but has over 500,000 pages. The entire site, and they're very related to the keyword, the entire site is about the keyword, so it is most likely getting seen as a decent authority by Google. Hence why they are taking the top 4 spots. PA on their other 3 pages ranking is very low, like 14. And the rest of the competition is basically non-existent. A potential client site is around 5 to 10 pages of relevant content. How possible would it be to rank that directory? Very possible, Theory. Very, very possible. Joanne. Yes. I think I showed that in the March, April, May mastery. From Slav, for mobile version of a page, m.moneysite.com, page 1. Google should account backlinks going to moneysite.com, page 1 to rank n.moneysite, page 1. Would you agree with that? Yes. No, I wouldn't worry about building links to that page, Slav. Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry, I had like something in my throat. Alright, from Gad, if I use general PBNs, does it make a difference if we silo it? For example, if linking to plumber sites and dog training, create a dog training silo and a plumbing silo, and link out from each respectively. I mean, I always link from the home page, Gad, because that's where you're going to get the most juice. I've never really messed with siloing out PBNs, to be honest. From Jason. So that explains why central boiler ranks for every single furnace and boiler term broadly. Makes sense to me now. It almost seems like to me it was like a brand with the way their anchor text is. Yeah, absolutely, Jason. That's very correct. Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me that they rank for everything because, I mean, when you look at anchor text like this, not only is this helping them rank very well for outdoor wood furnace, but it's also giving them credit for furnace installation, core and pellet furnace, and then any mixture of all these words. You know what I mean? And then, of course, they keep repeating all this stuff in different ways, So, again, this is helping them rank for outdoor wood furnace, but it's also helping them rank for radiant floor heating and outdoor corn furnace. You know what I mean? So, yeah, the way then they got, like, central boiler, home heating. So all this stuff that they're putting in here is they're gonna rank for. That's why long anchor text is very powerful, because not only does it expand your anchor text and give you credit for your main keyword you're trying to do, but anything else you add in that long anchor text it's gonna give credit to that as well. So I mean, I think people really underestimate the power of using longer anchor text. Like, most people still stick to just keyword-based anchor text like this, whereas when you do stuff like this, it's not as powerful as a specific, as a exact anchor, like if you just use outdoor wood furnace. But in the long run, it can actually be more powerful because you're staying away from over optimization, and you're also including other keywords in there that you can rank for. So I use this quite a lot, and I think people really look over it. They just kind of go crazy with, like, they'll do, like, instead of like doing longer stuff like you see there, they'll do stuff like they'll just do like outdoor wood furnace outdoor, outdoor with a space wood furnace, and they'll just do stuff like that. Whereas again, when you do stuff like this, it can be extremely powerful because for everything I just explained. All right. All right. From GAD, if the money site is an exact match, could linking out with a URL's anchor, including the HTTP, cause over optimization? I mean, that's never something I really tested, GAD. Um, so I'm not positive. I've never tried to over optimize a site by doing that. So I'm not really sure. I mean, I imagine it could in certain situations. If it's something that's just totally unnatural, I'm sure it could. But my guess is it would be pretty hard to over optimize for that. I mean, I think you would like almost have to be trying to over optimize to over optimize for that. You know what I mean? Because I mean, the way we do it, we're not going to keep including, just the name of the site, because that's not going to do it. It's going to help us rank, if it's an EMD, but we know better ways of doing it where we can help ourselves rank quicker. So I wouldn't really worry about it with the way that we do things. And Riz said LastPass can help with storing passwords. Yeah, I've heard of that, and I've never used it myself. But yeah, you probably could use something like that. It'd probably help a lot. Alright, from Mike. For a large lead gen site, about 1,000 pages, I would love to set up webmaster tools and analytics to it. Very much on page and some branding backlinks, nothing crazy. How much risk am I taking if I do set them up? I'm just trying to reread this 1 second. Oh, I think you're saying risk of like setting out webmaster tools. I wouldn't worry about that too much, Mike. I mean, I have webmaster tools and analytics on some of my sites. I just don't put like a bunch of my money sites on the same accounts, that's all. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. From Andres, I've been thinking about setting up an affiliate site. Would it be wise to follow the structure you use for your eSig site with the free Solid Builder plugin for? Yeah, Andres. And actually, I'm going to be revealing a new affiliate site soon, so that should be fun for everyone. Alright, from Renita, can you explain why spin content is bad for tier 2, even if it's readable and passes Copyscape? I mean, I think it depends, Renita. I don't play too much with spun content anymore, so I don't have like the testing data for that, Renita. Whether to say it's bad or not, but my look on it is as long as it makes sense grammatically and the sentence structure is right and it's unique, it should be fine. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a crappy article, as long as the grammar is good, the sentence structure is good, and it's unique. And then I'm fine with using it, because Google can't read an article and tell if it's bad or not, as far as as far as like like if it was a person reading it, even if it made sense, you could be like, man, that's a horrible article. They can't tell whether it's good or bad or not. They can only tell like stuff like grammar and sentence structure and stuff like that. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's bad as long as the grammar and sentence structure is good. And that's all I worry about, at least for my second tier stuff. But my guess is even spun content it's a little crappy would still be fine second tier. We need. I don't know that for sure because I don't really do that. But my guess is that would still be fine. Jason, I'm trying to rank the home page, but it makes sense to keep sending all sorts of different stuff like that. I didn't even think of looking at the home page because the inner page ranked with 25 links. Yeah, absolutely, Jason. And again, a lot of people don't understand that. I don't think I've talked about it much. So yeah, that's a pretty big thing that people should be looking at. From Joanne in Yoast. And by the way, if I say I have never talked about something, that should be a hint of it's something to pay attention to. It's not that I'm hiding anything. It's just that no one's really ever asked a question like Jason did to bring that out. All right. So in Yoast, it shows you having the keywords in your titles, meta description, and content. Becker was showing that in the meta description and content to use LSI to rank for more keywords. But when you do that, Yoast gives a yellow signal that the words are not correct. I would ignore that, Joanne. I wouldn't worry about that. I would ignore the yellow signal. That's what I mean. Alright, based on what you mentioned earlier, we shouldn't silo PBNs or have categories. We should just keep adding posts with links to the various money sites. I mean, that's the way I generally do it, Andres. And I'm not saying you shouldn't silo PBNs. I'm sure that can be very powerful. It's just not really something that I've played with. I do have some PBNs with categories because I just mix it up. Where I'll just, whatever post I'm doing, I'll just put in a random category. And then some sites I'll have no categories. I just kind of mix things up. All right. The Dwayne Berlin PBN safe purchase and setup videos on hosting has him using Host9 for all sites with different packages in different countries for IP addresses. Yet in the March, April, May master, okay, you say to use different hosts for each PBN. My question is really how much do we need to minimize footprint, and does the footprint go all the way back to the registration company? All right, thanks, Tim, for being more specific there. I mean, I'm not saying that using all Host9 won't work, but it's definitely something that can get you in trouble because they're tracking more at the hosting and registrar level now, Tim. So if you have no links going to a site, like it's a fresh site, and you do 5 PBN links, and all of the PBN links are from Host9, that's something that can get you smacked. You can get your PBNs taken out, which of course can hurt your money site. Because I mean, that's just not natural. There's so many hosts out there. What are the chances that your first 5 links are going to come from the same exact host, even if they're on different IPs? Like, Google's aware of SEO hosting. They know companies are doing that. So, I mean, that's something that's just, I would just stay away from. And that's why I kind of set it up like I show in the March, April, May Master webinar, Tim, where I use a different host for each PBN. I mean, it's just the safest way to go. I've had hundreds of PBNs taken out from trying to take shortcuts. So now I just kind of want to teach the safest way possible. I mean, even if you get some PBNs taken out for whatever reason, when you're on those big shared hosting like HostGator and companies like that, you're hosted with thousands of other people on that same server. So even if they take out one site, even if you have other sites on that same server, they're not going to know that they're your sites because, I mean, they're mixed in with other people. So, I mean, it's just the safest way to do things, to set up your PBNs on a different host, or for each money site, make sure it's coming from a different host from your PBN. I mean, it's the safest way to do it. Of course, when you start getting into tons of PBNs, you can repeat certain hosts as long as they're on a different IP. But I just try to stay away from as much as possible just to keep things switched up and just stay as safe as possible. As far as footprints for registrars, what I noticed is that the bigger registrars, you don't have to worry as much about that. Like GoDaddy, Enum, Namecheap, you don't really have to worry as much about repeating the same registrar over and over. But when you have smaller registrars, you might run into problems with that. All right. So, if you have like a registrar like Big Rock that's not as well known, and you have all your first 5 links from Big Rock, that could be something that gets you smacked. Not saying it will, but it could. Whereas if you do the first 5 from GoDaddy, that's not nearly as big as of a deal because everyone uses GoDaddy. They're so popular. So you got to consider the popularity of the resource that you're using, and then kind of just make a decision from there. Because remember, Google is their algorithm is kind of based off probability. Alright, from Octavio. Sorry if this has been asked. I just got here. You guys seeing huge movement on SERP the last few days. One of my sites dropped and others went up. I've noticed a little movement, Octavio, but not a ton. But I've noticed some other people said the same thing, Octavio. Most people are saying they're moving up a good bit. I think it was like yesterday or something that I noticed a few people saying they really moved up a ton for a whole bunch of sites. So, from Alain, how hard is it to outrank a site that has a DA of 34? Usually it's not too hard. I mean, there's so many other things that matter than DA, but I mean, a DA of 34 is not that high. I mean, I would say it's medium, but I mean that's not super high. I mean, a site could have a DA of 34 and have horrible anchor text, and they'd be simple. I mean, I could outrank them with a brand new site with one correct anchor text. You know what I mean? But then you could have a site with a DA 34 that has all their anchor text done very well. That you can still beat them, but it's going to be a lot harder than the first example. All right, from Renita, are white hat directory links and forum comments okay in addition to PBNs? Yeah, I mean they are, Renita. You just got to be careful of that type of stuff because, especially the white hat like directory links, just because I think that stuff that can be easily flagged, and they can have like tons of links on them, which can create problems. Directory links I don't really mess with too much, but yeah, I mean forum comments can definitely help you out a lot. Just be careful with them. Like don't do stuff that has like tons and tons and tons of links on it. Um, then there's certain directory link places, Renita, where there's really not that many links on there that can really help you out as well. So I don't want to. It's hard to say like without examples, like what to do and what not to do. But I mean, in both of these cases, you can definitely use them, and they can definitely help you a lot. But I just don't want to say, yeah, they're okay to use, generally, and then you go out and use kind of crappy ones. So just try to use the higher quality ones. Usually, if somewhere if a link is very easy to get, in a lot of cases, it's not going to help you that much. Usually the harder something is, the more it's going to help you. But yeah, just be aware of quality. Look at the DA of the sites. Look how many links are on the page. Look at everything before you get those links. From Andres, can we use Video Kraken and Social Explosion on our money site? Yeah. Yeah, I use Social Explosion all the time on my money sites. Not Video Kraken, not really that much, but Social Explosion I do use a lot. Alright, from Gad, I want to run this idea by you. Instead of using Video Kraken on a subdomain, I'm adding a blog within the money site and embedding selected videos at a rate of a few per week. Then sending Social Explosion to those posts. Do you see any issues with this? Would effectiveness be same as with the vCracken on the subdomain? I'm adding a blog, embedding selected videos. I don't think there would be any issues with that, Gad. You can always check with Network Empire. It's their tools, so they know the best ways to use them. But I mean, I don't really see any problem with that. Especially if you're choosing the videos, Gad. The problem with video Kraken is that it's automated, so sometimes they'll just put in like random videos. Like for example, I forget what niche it was, but I put in a keyword and like Grand Theft Auto videos were showing up for it because it maybe had the word that I was going after in it with Grand Theft Auto. So I mean that's the problem with Video Kraken is it can do irrelevant videos like that. If you're doing it yourself and you're embedding actual selected videos, then you're likely picking stuff that fits in exactly with your money site guide. So it's going to make a lot more sense. It's going to fit in. So I think that's a lot safer, actually, Gad. I mean, that would be my opinion from what I understand that you're doing. And then also, if it's a money site, just to be safe, I would probably add content with the videos, at least maybe some of the times, guys, so you're not always just doing videos. Just do a video, then maybe some comments on that video. What you thought about or something like that. And that could make it all around a lot safer. Alright, cool. And Gad said that's exactly what he meant. Awesome. Alright, Jason, I had one other question. If I am looking to pillow my site with brand anchor text to diversify my link profile, this is for another site I took on that has about 50% optimized for each of the 5 keywords they are targeting, so I want to get that down a bit. What is the best way to go about getting a decent amount of high quality links to do this? You can do stuff, Jason, where you order like social links, where you'll get a lot of branded anchor text. If it's a local site, obviously you can do stuff like citations. Even affiliate sites, I've heard people have done citations for affiliate sites. I've never done that. I've been meaning to try that out, but I know people have used citations for affiliate sites as well. I think there's ways that you can do that. So you can do stuff like that. Blog commenting, where you're just doing like a name, stuff like that. Press releases. You can send out a press release. Just make sure you do like a branded anchor text because it's going to give you a lot of links for branded anchor text. Anything like that is going to help you spread it out. Then, of course, there's other. You can order like contextual links from like kind of like black hat services, so to speak, which will work. But if that service ends up getting taken down or something, of course, there's tons of places like what was the name of that place? Something network, like some type of link network where it worked great for a while. Then Google found out and everyone that was using it got taken down. So that's the problem with using that type of stuff. But that would also help you at least for a while. If you use that, just be careful what you use. Build My Rank, that's what I'm talking about. A whole bunch of people are using Build My Rank, so I wouldn't use something necessarily like that had like tons of people are aware of. But some of those like lesser known services that are offered in some of the black hat community, they can actually be pretty good, and they fly under the radar because not a ton of people are using them. So that's an option. But really, I would say the better option is, like press releases, blog comments, quality type of stuff like that, where you're going out and doing it yourself, or hiring someone who knows what they're doing. From Pete, when purchasing new money sites, do we need to mask or change anything when filling out the Whois contact info? And if so, can it be changed later if need be with Namecheap, for instance? I just put on Whois privacy all the time, Pete, honestly. That's what I do for my money sites. From Pete, if I build multiple affiliate sites in the same niche, so they all be on separate hosts? Yeah, I mean they don't have to be, Pete, but that's the safest way to do it because, like, if you end up sending PBNs to the same money site, if you got a PBN1 and you got like 5 money sites in the same niche, and you use PBN1 to link to money site 1 and money site 2, first of all, if they're on the same host, there's a chance they could be on the same IP. I don't know how you're doing it there, but even if they're on the same IP, you got two links here going out to um, maybe host 9, and that could be something that puts up a red flag, right? If you got two links going on, both are out to the same exact host, or even if you end up doing three, and then you got three to the same exact host, that could be a red flag. So I mean, just to stay safe, I always try to put affiliate sites in the same niche on different hosting, because I know when I PBN out, a lot of times I will mix up the same. I'll do multiple money sites for the same post on a PBN. Since I know I do that, I try to separate those hosts, at least for the same niche. When doing local citations, do you do it yourself or do you use a company? I use companies to do that, David. Alright, from Peter, when you want to bid for an expired domain on Namejet, you have to make a back order first. Then you are allowed to take part in the auction. I was searching for .de domains. Without TLD, the back order is not possible. What happens to these domains? Does nobody bid on them and they just go back into the available domain pool? I've never done them, Peter, so I'm not sure. It's weird that the back order is not possible with them. But yeah, I mean, if no one bids on them, Peter, generally they go back into the available domain pool, yes. How does it feel to be in the position I'm in? It feels good, Yasin. But you also gotta understand, I worked very, very hard to get here. You know what I mean? Like I explained last webinar, someone was asking me about doing things you don't want to do. When I first started, when I really I started in 2006, but made some money, then took time off, came back in 2010. When I started back in 2010, I did a lot of things I didn't want to do. I talking to clients, just all types of stuff that goes with SEO or internet marketing that I'd rather not be doing. But I sucked it up and I did whatever it took. And then as time went on, of course, I cut out more and more things that I didn't want to do. To where now I'm in a position where I can only do what I want to do if I want to, and that's SEO. Like I like testing and I like SEO. So that's all I do. So, for example, when I partner with someone, I tell people, hey, you take care of conversion and website design, and then I'm going to do all the SEO. So anytime someone wants to partner with me, I just let them know, look, that's all I want to do is SEO. So if you're okay with that, then we can do it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, as time goes on, you get to do more and more of what you want to do only, and not the stuff you don't want to do. But yeah, I mean, my advice is just, if you're just getting started, just suck it up, be willing to do anything, and then as you move on, you can kind of cut out more and more of that stuff that you don't want to do. Alright, from Yasin, what you say that you only use PBNs to rank? No, I don't only use PBNs. I mean, they're my biggest tool, but I don't only use PBNs. I definitely have sites where I've only used PBNs, but I mean, that's definitely not the only thing I use. We use everything. Should I send PBN links directly to my primary site, or should I send them to a YouTube video and WebTuber No Properties that link to my money site? Yeah, Andres, we talked about this in a video where we'd rather people do that just for safety. It's just, but when it comes down to it, it's up to you. And the reason for this is if the first link you send to a site is a PBN link, and there's something you miss with that PBN where it's penalized or something, you're screwed. You could keep working on that site for months, never see movement, not know why, and it's because of that first link. So that's why, I created that video and I said, if you're going to send PBNs directly to the site, we would rather you not. And that's just for the general community because we have a lot of beginners and a lot of people who can get in trouble with that. But we say, if you are going to do that, at least build up the authority of your site first and get other types of links first. Go out and get citations. Go out and do whatever. Get other links in there. Do your social. That way, you're building up the domain authority of the site first. You're kind of getting some trust built, and it gives you a less of a chance of getting penalized if the first PBN you send is penalized. But I would rather people just not even do that altogether unless they absolutely have to. You know what I mean? Like, get your citations, get all that social, get your Web 2.0s, then send PBNs to all that type of stuff. Then if you're still not where you need to be, then you can try to send PBNs directly to the site. Because by that time, you're plenty safe, whereas one PBN is probably not going to negatively affect you. So, I mean, that choice is really up to yours, but I just kind of laid it out why we recommend what we do. Any client getting stuff you send, refer to like Fletch or Cotton. They're the client masters. Or Joe Marfaglio, he's really good with that stuff. Which companies do you use to do your local citations? I really like Bright Local. I used White Spark. I've used like outsourcers. I would say Bright Local is probably my favorite, David, so far. I've used Yext. They're really expensive though. They're good, but they're expensive. So I mean, as long as they're doing it correctly, it doesn't really matter who you use. But I think Bright Local does a great job. From Yasin, how would you say to use PBNs, or would you say just use PBNs to rank videos now? Not. I mean, I would say that it's the most powerful thing you send, but not necessarily. I wouldn't say just use PBNs. I mean, just like a website, you can use everything else, and it's going to help it. But I mean, with everything else, I think PBNs are the most effective thing. Do you use Fiverr citations? No. That's definitely one thing I don't do. I'm sure there's certain gigs that are decent for it, but I would rather just pay more and get them done correctly. Let me see if there's any more questions. So it looks like there's a couple more here. I'll answer these last few. From Barrington, I recently used your guide to ranking YouTube videos. Instead of Speed 90X, I used Joe's guide for my channel and video uploaded core reserves to rank. I'm at the bottom of page 1 on YouTube for my main keyword and ranking for a few others. It's been about a week since I posted. Should I be doing more to get into the SERPs, or is it a waiting? Yeah, I'll just wait from here, Barrington. It's only been a week. You haven't gotten nearly everything that you're going to get from whatever you did. What should I use to replace duplicate citations? I have a client who has 4 locations. What should I do? Should I change the name of every location so I won't be seen as duplicate content? You see, I would bring that to Cotton or Fletch, because they've dealt a lot more with duplicate citation stuff than I have. From Elaine, I haven't watched the mastery videos yet, but someone told me that I should link my money site first using DAS and then PBNs. Is this correct? Yeah, what I just explained, Elaine. I mean, it's going to be safer to do the DAS stuff first, because you're getting safe stuff around your site before you send the PBNs. But yeah, I just explained everything about PBNs going directly to a money site and the safe steps that you can take. Of course, I have sites where I have only PBNs going to them that rank perfectly fine because I'm confident in what I'm looking for, but I can't really recommend that to the general community. All right, just because a lot of people will blow themselves up, I feel. All right, so it looks like that is it for questions today. I'm going to wrap up this webinar, and then I'll get the recording over to David. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of this one, as with the others, and my next webinar will probably be next Monday at 1 again. All right? All right, guys, thanks for coming out, and I'll get this over to David shortly. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy the nice weather.